Hey everyone, it was raining today, so it was a little bit hard to see, to figure out where I was going to film today's live stream. Sorry that it took as long as it did, and that we're starting a good 30 minutes almost later than normal. At least 30 minutes later than we did last week. I am going to be starting off again with the Jesus Calling book, and I think I've decided that I need to rearrange the room that I'm currently in. So as a few of you know, we had a flood a couple years ago, and we just kind of put things in plastic boxes and shoved them in this room. But I think I can redo this. I bought a chair a little while ago. This is a chair that I bought specifically to read my Bible and to do my devotions when I took sabbatical 2 years ago in the winter, because I couldn't go outside. And I love going outside, but this is actually my indoor Bible reading place, because I like to have a place that I go to kind of connect with God. And then behind me was a wedding gift that I got. A friend of mine made that painting of Candace and I. Her name's Elizabeth. She's a great artist. Anyways, Jesus is calling for April 13th. Thankfully, it's not a Friday. Jokes. I would have been dressed up as Jason if it was. Alright. Oh yes, Joxer. My cats will definitely be a much bigger part of today's live stream than probably Sassy ever was. So this is Joxer. He is a total curious cat, wants to figure everything out. So hey Ryan and Marcel, thank you for joining. And then I also have another cat in here, Mr. Gray, but he's gonna cause a little bit less chaos than Joxer. Alright, April 13th from Jesus is Calling. When I give you no special guidance, stay where you are. Concentrate on doing your everyday tasks in awareness of my presence with you. The joy of my presence will shine on you as you do everything for me. Thus, you invite me into every aspect of your life. Through collaborating with me in all things, you allow my life to merge with yours. This is the secret of not only joyful living, but of victorious living. I designed you to depend on me, moment by moment, recognizing that apart from me, you can do nothing. Be thankful for quiet days when nothing special seems to be happening, instead of being bored by the lack of action. Use times of routine to seek my face. Although this is an invisible transaction, it speaks volumes in the spiritual realms. Moreover, you are richly blessed when you walk trusting with me through the routines of your day. So 3 Bible verses that are connected to this. Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for man. Then John 15:5. I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me, and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Then, look to the Lord and his strength. Seek his face always. That was from Psalm 105. And with that, this one, holy cow, can we ever relate to this devotional today? But, find ways of routine. My wife was working on a routine because she's not working right now, and she's found ways of being creative and stuff. And right away I could see how that was already improving her mental state. She started doing some painting for Jesus, and yesterday she did a painting of living water, and I liked it. She's not ready to show it off yet though. But for me, one of the struggles I had for the longest time was this whole, apart from me, you can do nothing. Like John 15:5. Apart from me, you can do nothing. And I was like, I can do a lot of stuff without God. Before I was a Christian, I was doing all this other sort of things. And that was a bit of a struggle and a bit of a learning curve. And I was like, okay, I know it's in the Bible. I trust the Bible. I know it's true. I just don't understand what it's saying. And there's a couple of ways in which I think that means. By no means am I a Bible scholar or anything like that. So there's a couple people that have popped up, hey Mike and Scott, that might know a little bit more than me. Yeah, that whole I can do nothing apart from God. One, I think it means like we wouldn't be here without God. So he created everything. He designed our lungs so that we could breathe the air that he's created on this earth that he's created, so on and so forth. So there's a little bit of that. I would not exist. But that's not what it says. It says I can do nothing. And I'm like, but I can drive, I can speak, I can talk, I can dance, I can, fill in the blank. And I was like, what do you mean I can do nothing? And then I was reading more, and it was I can do nothing of eternal value without God. Everything that I try to do with my own strength will start and end here in this earth. But when I do things with God, in collaboration with God, they have impacts and things that last far beyond me and far beyond our world, and make some positive things in the internal sense with God. So that's my current understanding of that verse, because that's something that I've always kind of struggled with. And then I came across that and I was like, you know what? I like that. You can do nothing of eternal value without collaborating with God. I'm like, all right, without God in general. That is not the right thing. So it is the 13th as well. So one of the other things that I've been doing is reading Proverbs. So there's a different proverb for every day of the month. 31 Proverbs, usually 31 days. So each day I've been reading the Proverbs for that day. And it's the 13th. So hopefully that was enough time for you guys to pull open your Bible. And once again, if you want a physical one and you're too far away, I can mail it to you. I'll be more than happy to mail you a Bible if you want a physical one. And if you're close, I can drop it in your mailbox. But there's always the Bible app as well, because I know you should be able to like shrink me down or whatever and still hear me and be able to read along. And as well, I'm reading out of a New Living Translation. So if you're reading along and you're like, that doesn't make any sense, it's because the Bible has a bunch of different translations. Because when it transfers over from the original language to English, not everything has a one-to-one comparison. So there's a lot of translations that try to understand the word a lot more. So some are more like, yes, this means this means this. And there's other ones, well, this means this, but culturally it means this. So there's a lot of different translations out there. That's a really quick summary on why there's a lot of different translations. So Proverbs 13, starting at 1. A wise child accepts a parent's discipline. A mocker refuses to listen to correction. Wise words will win a good meal, but treacherous people have an appetite for violence. Those in control of their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. Lazy people want much but get little. but those who work hard will prosper. The godly hate lies, and the wicked cause shame and disgrace. I knew I was going to do that. Like, I really wanted to. So, verse 6. Godliness guards the path of the blameless, but the evil are misled by sin. Some who are poor pretend to be rich. Others who are rich pretend to be poor. The rich can pay a ransom for their lives, but the poor won't even get threatened. The life of the godly is full of light and joy, but the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. Pride leads to conflict. Those who take advice are wise. Wealthy from the get-rich-quick schemes quickly disappears. Wealth from the hard work grows over time. So on that note, like, how many people win the lottery and then are so much worse off a year later? Worse off than when they started. That's true. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. People who despise advice are asking for trouble. Those who respect a command will succeed. I think that's also kind of interesting because some people just get angry if you're like, hey, you want help with that? And they're like, no, I can do it myself. Alright, whatever. Leave you alone, but there might be a better way, and you can learn and grow in your skills. Even if it's not a way that you're going to use, you can grow your skills and understand some things a little bit better. But then those who respect a command will succeed. Sometimes it's not all about doing it yourself. It's understanding who's in authority and following through with that authority. Sometimes that's not always the best course of action, but sometimes it's better to put your ego aside and just be like, you know what? I see what you're saying. I'm going to try to do it that way. There's times when that's good and times when that's bad. In a lot of the scenarios I'm thinking of, there's times that's good, but then I had one scenario pop up and it was like, yeah, no, don't do that. So make sure, like, when you're picking your leaders, if you have the option to pick your leaders, make sure that they're people that actually care about you. They care about your well-being and the well-being of others. If they're just self-seeking, that's when you can get into some dangerous situations. But anyways, I'm going to continue from 14. The instruction of the wise is like a life-giving fountain. Those who accept it avoid the snares of death. A person with a good sense is respected, and a treacherous person is headed for destruction. Wise people think before they act. Fools don't. Even brag about their foolishness. An unreliable messenger stumbles into trouble, but a reliable messenger brings healing. And sometimes with that one too, like, someone can give you truthful advice and tell you how it is. It hurts at first, but it can actually bring healing. And a lot of times we try to, like, mask over some of those uncomfortable truths to be like, hey, yeah, oh no, everything's gonna be okay. Oh yes, we know that you're, whatever, and you don't want to hear this. That's why doctors tell you how it is, because if they just tell you what you wanted to hear, you might not ever get healed, right? So be honest about stuff. It really is the best policy, and it brings healing. So continuing on from 18. If you ignore, and by the way, I have this part highlighted. If you ignore criticism, you will end in poverty and disgrace. If you accept correction, you will be honored. Oh, really? Okay, I gotta show you. Do you guys see what my cat's doing? Climbing up on the door? 1 second. But, like what I was saying, gotta get down, bud. Gotta get down. That's not a safe place for you. if you don't accept criticism, it's hard to really improve. A lot of people that video edit or they make songs or music, they want to actually hear, like, yeah, you know what, I like this, but this was a little bit off, or like that was a little bit off. Sometimes that correction can be really good, but in our culture of politeness, sometimes it's hard to really ever improve if you don't give honest criticism and critique, right? He's going to totally try to jump up on the door again. But anyways, so continuing on from 8. I'm on a different page now. Give me a second. Alright. I'm going to read 18 again and then continue on to the end. If you ignore criticism, you will end up in poverty and disgrace. If you accept correction, you will be honored. It is pleasant to see dreams come true, but fools refuse to turn from evil to attain them. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. How true is that? Troubles chase sinners, while blessings reward the righteous. Good people leave an inheritance to their children, but sinners' wealth passes to the godly. A poor person's farm may produce much fruit, but injustice sweeps it all away. Those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. The godly eat to their heart's content, but the belly of the wicked goes hungry. On that whole discipline thing, I used to work a lot more with a lot of youth that were street adjacent. Sometimes that's one of the things that didn't happen, is they didn't really get in trouble at home. So Jocks no, I didn't. He's right over there. He's still there looking in the door. But he actually likes getting picked up and thrown. Like, he'll jump up in my arms and then like fall out, and he not thrown but tipped out. He likes that. It's what he likes. But yeah, you know what, I think I was just kind of going I don't know if there's anything extra to add today. I was debating, reading maybe the Strangers on the Road to Emmaus and stuff like that. But yeah, just thank you for coming in, doing my daily devotion. Thank you for joining me through Easter. For those that checked out my testimony on Good Friday, thank you. That solo walk of the cross was really cold, but I'm really happy that I was able to do it. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for joining. And yeah, here he is, Eli. Yeah, around. I'll show you what I was trying to say. So when you go like this, he loves, well, apparently cleaning himself. And what's up? Oh yeah, there he goes. There you go. See? And then he just wants to tip out. And now he's back up for more. Joxer. Well, now he's just cleaning his spots. But anyways, so I'm going to pray for you guys. If you guys have any prayer requests, come on up. Come on up. Okay, I'll pick you up. This is meowing to come up. It's not just that it's him disciplining us, but sometimes that can be the case. He can allow the consequences from our actions to kind of help understand. So kind of my understanding of a lot of that is it's not necessarily him disciplining us, but him not protecting us from our consequences so that we can turn to him. So we still might be forgiven for our actions and what Christ did on the cross. But he never says that we are free of the consequences of our actions. We don't have to pay like the ultimate punishment. But if I cheat on my wife, God might go, okay, you know what? That sucked. There's a ton of rules about that throughout the Bible. Relationships are held up really high. But God can forgive even that, but my marriage is still going to have effects and discipline, and I'm still going to have to go through a lot of the mess that happens there. If I rob a bank, I'm still going to have to go to jail, but I can still be forgiven from that. And those are like some extreme circumstances, and sometimes the consequences that we face and the things that we get impacted are not even things that we do, but sometimes it's somebody else's wrong that ends up hurting us, and it sucks. That's part of living in a community, right? So, if not my first example, my wife would get really hurt by my actions, and it's one of the reasons why I don't want to do that, because I don't want to hurt her. And no matter what level of forgiveness that ends up happening, it'll still hurt her. So there's still some consequences to the action. So if God removed all the consequences, would we really learn from our actions? So if, in that first example, I did end up cheating on my wife, and Candace didn't get hurt, she was like, all right, whatever, would I then feel like, oh, then I can do it again? I didn't hurt her, there's no consequences to the person that I cheated with or with my wife, and everything's good and I'm in a better place. Maybe I can do it again. All right? So when God allows us to still go through our consequences, that's how I see it, as a form of the discipline. So hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully I'm not completely off base. Yeah, any other questions I would love to answer, especially off of the Bible verse that we read. If anyone has a Bible verse that they'd like me to read and kind of get into, I'd love to do that as well. Like I said, though, with Easter being done, that was like my big kind of what I wanted to build towards. And now I'm going to put, if we're going to do a third section, I'm going to put it back into your hands. So, 1 second, I got to come up to read. Definitely. For those that aren't reading the comments, Eli asked me to pray for everyone's health, and mental health especially, and physical health in the dark times. So that is one of the things I'm doing. And by the way, that's one of the reasons why I'm reading the Bible with this. If it wasn't for my faith, I think my mental health would be and physical health would be even worse than it is during this time. It's my faith that helps get me through this stuff. It really is. And I know a few people that that's the case. And I know a lot of people that aren't Christians that are still finding ways to get through it. But for me, it's how I'm getting through it. So, yeah. I'll leave it a second for a couple more comments, and then I will pray. Actually, yeah. I'm really confused at the live feedback there, because I have more. Anyways. That's me thinking out loud. Alright, so I'm going to pray. And yeah, any personal prayer requests, link them. Either leave a comment or send me a private message. I get to them each day, so please send it in there. I'd love to do that. And yeah, I'm gonna start praying. And because I'm not out by the stream because of the rain, even though it looks like it's somewhat died down now, I don't want to go throw on my shoes to pray. So yeah, I'll just pray here. Hey, Jesus Christ, awesome Jesus Christ. I thank you so much for all the ways in which you do help us get through. I thank you for some of the consequences that you do protect us from, and how you did die on the cross, and you conquered death, so we don't have to have those consequences, and we can be reunited with you, Lord. But when the consequences of our actions do come, and the consequences of others do hit us, like what we're going through right now globally through this whole COVID-19 thing. The wet market, that it's just this hotbed for a lot of germs and stuff like that. And something cross-contaminated, and then, yeah, we're in this state now. For people trying to hide the secrets and protect their national pride or whatever, and how that's affecting us now. I pray for all the doctors, their physical health, all the frontline employees that are getting paid criminally under what they should be getting paid. For all the people stuck at home, for all the people working at home, I pray and I lift up their mental health during this time. For everyone that joined the live stream, the mental health is a big thing. That was my big push right at the beginning, and that's why I was doing those health videos. But it was good for a laugh, and then you flip the channel, and then what? And I know I can do nothing. None of us can do anything of real, lasting value without going in collaboration with you. So I thank you for wanting to collaborate with us. I lift up people's mental health, that if they need to get outside and get into nature, that they can find ways of doing that while social distancing and not getting tickets. You're hearing all these things pop up now, scaring people to not even spend time with their family outside. But Lord, you know, the sun is actually something that helps us out. The sun has risen and shines on our land most days. Right now it's raining, and that rain, Lord, I thank you so much for it, because it helps give life. It's an inconvenience, but it helps give life. So in this time, as people's mental health is getting tested, Lord, I pray that you can help them out, even if they don't know you. I was seeing a few posts this week about, you know, don't feel guilty if you have anxiety and depression, and are feeling actually pretty good right now. I thank you that they are feeling pretty good right now. It lets the extroverts have a little bit of an idea on what it's like to be an introvert in an extroverted world. And I pray that we can empathize with these people. And I thank you that there are some people that are really excelling right now. For those that aren't, Lord, help. And for all the physical stuff too, so many people are just sitting down, not really doing anything. And that's not good for our bodies either. So I thank you for today. I can stand up, that I can pace back and forth a little bit, that I can pet my cats. I said that weird. And for those with animals and other loved ones, Lord, I lift them up. I'm thinking of like my father-in-law right now, and I pray for healing and everything there. And for anyone else that's sick of corona, but even the people that are sick without the corona, and how difficult that is to go through a lot of that, having separation from a lot of the family. I lift that up. For the people that are working in the COVID-19 wards across the world that aren't allowed to see their families, I lift them up. I was told about somebody that had a stroke and some stuff went on in their back, and then they lost the use of one side of their body, and then they went to the hospital to go get help, and then they ended up catching corona as well. And I lift up healing for them. People recover from this. And I pray and I thank you that we do have a hospital, and we have a health team, and that we have a response going on. And for all the ones without jobs, I thank you so much that there is that $2,000 a month. And that helps out with some things. Some people, that's still not enough to pay rent. But, so financially, Lord, as well. But, yeah, their mental and physical health and well-being, I lift up to you. And I thank you for everyone that still does the frontline jobs, that's still out there helping keep this country run, this nation run. And I want to lift up my friends in Guatemala and Ecuador that I've gotten word that they're having family members die in their houses. Bodies are getting brought out to the streets and rotting. Their morgues are full. Lord, this is hitting the entire world in unprecedented ways. I pray for protection for the ones that have dead people in their homes. That in third world countries where they don't have the resources to say, yeah, we're going to give everyone $2,000 a month to survive, and they don't have places to put the bodies. I thank you so much that Canada has responded in the way that it is. So the most inconvenience I have is waiting 30 minutes for a coffee in the lineup of Tim Hortons and waiting outside to get to the grocery store and not having some of the normal comforts that I have. But people in these other countries, Lord, they're... I can't even really imagine. As bad and as difficult as life got here, I can't imagine what it's like for them. So I want to lift up people in the populated world, as we're supposed to call it now. They're hurting and they're going through something that mentally and emotionally they may never recover from, but you can help them recover from it, Lord. You can help them get through this time. So I think of my friends and even the ones I don't know in those countries, and just hearing that, Lord, my heart breaks for them, as I know it does yours. One of my favorite lines heading into Easter is Jesus wept. It's a simple, poetic, and powerful verse. You have the emotions. You're not a heartless, go do this, go do that, go do this, oh, you gotta pay for this type of God. But you're a God that chose to come down, to suffer physically, mentally, and emotionally. Even spiritually, as you were up on the cross and you're like, my God, why have you forsaken me? You have struggled in all the ways that we do. You have felt pain so much more than I can even imagine. You emphasize with these people in these other countries. And for those in our own country that might not have pets and might be disconnected and it's really bugging them, Lord, I pray that you can work on the hearts of somebody that they know to reach out. Use us, Lord. May we be tools used for you. Amen. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I'm glad I did not throw on my shoes to go outside because it's starting to rain again. Yeah. That last part, I'm thinking of some people personally. We sponsor a kid as well in Ecuador, Chicken Butso. In our correspondence, I asked him what his favorite Bible verse was, and he said Jesus wept. I was watching that TV show, The Chosen. Jesus has a sense of humor, and his emotions come through, and his humanness is emphasized, and that's something that seems to be missed so much in almost all the representations of Jesus. Jesus was not only fully God, but he was also fully human. Jesus pooped, y'all. Jesus pooped. He knows what it's like to run out of TP. They didn't really have it back then. Let's just say everyone was right-handed for a reason. What am I getting at? What's my point? I forget what my point was. Oh yeah, Ecuador and everything. So as you're thinking about us, you're thinking about what you're going through, and if you're praying, I do ask that you pray for Chicken Butso. He's an awesome kid. We started sponsoring him when he was about 8. I think he's like 13 now. I can't imagine what it's like. I haven't talked to him during this whole Corona thing. So, yeah, he's on my heart right now. And then I've met a couple people from these other countries thanks to working with YFC and them coming to Canada or me going on trips, mission type trips there. I've been to Haiti. I can't imagine what it's like in Haiti. I was going to go to Puerto Rico. That got postponed. Been to Antigua. Been to Costa Rica. They have some great medical facilities there, but not enough. Their homes, a lot of times, are just way too close together. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they're handling it. I really don't. So, anyways, on that somber note, thank you guys for joining me. Honestly, it's been awesome. You guys have been helping out with my mental and spiritual health as well. And Cameron, hey, how's it going? And Samantha, hey Samantha. Cameron, I would love to actually chat with you. I'm curious how you thought WrestleMania went and how what you thought of the NXT takeover with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, because that match was pretty cool. I think it was better than the Boneyard match. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. You guys are great. Remember, comment or send me private messages if you want me to read something or focus on something in the next one tomorrow, or if you want a Bible. I really want to hand out Bibles. I got like 50 of them. I need to hand them out, so that would be awesome. All right, guys, thank you. And this one guy has been here the whole time, so I'm gonna let him have his 15 seconds of fame as I close things out. And for those that were joining late, yes, this was a wedding gift painted by my friend Elizabeth. She is super talented. Anyways, here is Mr. Gray. Hey, Gray. Hey, bud.